Oh, guess what, y'all? We are back. It is so nice to be back in Florida, back at the ranch. Golly, man, I'm excited, y'all. Got a lot to do today, and y'all are riding shotgun. Go check on everything. There's some old tractor. Just been left out in the rain all summer long. I wonder who left it here. No idea. Hey, squirt some of that choke cleaner in there. Anytime you leave stuff out here, it always magically breaks. But whenever you turn this key, this thing should start up, but there's no smoke. That means somebody done ran it out of fuel. So mowing is out of the question. So now we're gonna go fill our fish. Oh, the armadillo, hold on. Got him. Hold this. Got it. You never know when you're just gonna come across an old armadillo and catch him. Look at that. And he's peeing on himself, you sick little rascal. This is known as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A 9-band armadillo. And he's actually really bad for our area. This is what's called an egg eater. They eat lots of eggs of the turkeys. And they burrow down in holes, and they got these little leathery ears in their head like that. There you go. Ooh, and he's trying to poop on me. A lot of ranchers are gonna be really pissed at me right now because I should kill this thing, but I feel bad for him, so go ahead. It's his lucky day. Using my phone as a mirror, and I can see that there's nothing like gunked up in there. It's just empty. Battery's about dead. We're gonna test it. Hey, that's pretty good for a dead battery. All right, so this is what's called a protein feeder. Always check in there to make sure there's no wasps. But it's a gravity feeder. You fill up this hopper, and then the game eats right here. And we got to come in here and mow all this. And you got big oak trees back in there. This is a good spot. Sorry about that. One of the keys to being really successful in the woods is being comfortable with your gun. In this price range, this Burris drop tine is the best scope on the market, and I'm gonna show you how I sight it in real quick. First thing I do is I take the bolt out and I look down the barrel and line it up with the target. That takes a little bit of, knowing. Then I adjust the crosshairs to match what I'm looking at through the barrel. And that's just a quick way to bore sight your gun. I wear reading glasses quite a bit, but I don't wear reading glasses when I'm hunting. So make sure you're not wearing glasses when you're sighting in your gun, because it will be different. That's pretty good. I want to shoot one more time. The bullets are touching. I'm happy with that. All right, y'all, so we have been out on the ranch working all day. We got a lot done, didn't we?
We did.
We got a lot done. And this part of the video is dedicated to my grandpa, Shotgun Shiver. He was an original cow hunter. He was a straight up cracker, worked on the back of a horse, cow hunting, cutting fence posts, and he did it all with an axe and a bow saw like that. So one of the main foods that they ate was swamp cabbage. And let me show you something real quick. That is a sable palm, but here in South Florida, we call them swamp cabbage, and they're pretty much everywhere you look. Like, that's a swamp cabbage. That right there is a swamp cabbage. You see it? They're all over the place. But let me tell you something. They are hard on a saw, and I've never in my life done this, but I'm about to cut a swamp cabbage with this right here. And if I get tired, he's my backup.
Got this.
Let's see what we gotta do. First thing you gotta do is get in here and start cutting this. We want to get these things out of the way.
They work pretty well.
Yeah. Now, with a chainsaw, this is really easy. But my grandpa, he didn't have no chainsaw. He had just a little bow saw, about like this. Now, you always stack your palm fronds. These things, we call them palm fronds. You always stack them up over there so that you can use them as firewood later, because when they dry out, they burn really well. They're great for starting a fire. Gonna try to once we get one out, these things will start falling like a deck of cards, I hope. Once you get one boot out of the way, that's gonna start opening everything up. And then this. See now? And then these things will start working all the way around. Oh, look at that. That's a mushroom growing on the inside. I'm not gonna be eating it. You can put this thing in the back of your truck or stack it up at camp and it's gonna last a few days. I don't know how long, but at least, I'd say this thing has stayed good for at least a week. It might stay good for a month, I don't know. Here in Florida, we call this Australian pine. Other people call it ironwood or whatever, but it's good firewood. It's actually good for smoking too. We need it because this is what we're gonna cook our swamp cabbage on. See, some parts of it is just super hard. There you go. We need a lot of this. Now see, the wind's coming like this, so you use this tree as a little bit of a windbreak. Watch how quick this will burn. No gas, no lighter fluid, no nothing. This right here is exactly how my grandpa survived. The fire's getting right now, but I want to show you how my grandpa and everyone I know have gotten meat for many, many years. You know, yeah, you can walk into a grocery store and pick up a piece of pork, but guess what? What happens if the grocery store weren't there? It could happen. Let me show you how we get meat. Wait for it to turn sideways. Squeeze it gently. That's how you get meat. Now let me show you how you cook it. Got a couple bigger logs here like this, like that. And you can just set them logs about this close to one another. Make sure that you can set your pan on there. See that? Now you got some fire. We're gonna let that cook. We're gonna let that cook down a little bit more so it's not quite so hot. In the meantime, we got us some pork. We'll just cut it off the bone. And my grandpa, when he was working on his horse and cruising around, he didn't have a bunch of knives. All he had was his pocket knife. That's it. And that was enough. You just figure it out and get by with what you got. Throw this. Then he would always carry him a box of salt. You'd salt that meat real nice. And some pepper. That's all they'd use. About like that. Come over here. And set this right on there. All right, so I just chopped up an onion, and as you can tell, the sun's going down, so we're just using a headlight to give us light. And the more I do this video, the more I think of my Paul, man. That was my mom's dad. Lived in an old plywood house. Didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, but he raised a family. He was thankful, he was grateful, and you know, moments like this really are special to me. You know, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I'm always, you know, using canned tomatoes, but Paul didn't have canned tomatoes. He would just have him a little satchel, and he'd maybe have an onion or a tomato or whatever he could get and put in there, and that was his grocery bag. That's what he lived on. Cut out the core of that tomato. And let me tell you something. Tomato, salt, like that. See this? At dinner. Man, that's a good tomato. What I'm talking about. If you look in the pan, you can start to see some of that goody sticking. That's what we want. Here in Florida, it gets really hot and it's very humid, muggy. A lot of people ask me, why do you wear a long sleeve shirt? The truth is, because you build up this layer of sweat and it just like encompasses you. It don't smell real good. I mean, you believe me, we don't smell real good. But that layer of sweat then is like an air conditioner for you. So you start off nice and clean and smelling good, but about the first 45 minutes you're covered in sweat. You start cooling down and it ain't that bad. Got all that meat, it's starting to look nice. Now we'll take our tomatoes and onions, throw them right in there. Take some salt. And pepper. Put it back on our fire. Here we go. We're going to take off one more. Now it's time to start harvesting our hearts of palm. Take this off. Wipe your knife off. And now you'll just take your knife and just start cutting out. See how it peels away? And once your knife starts hanging up, you know it's time to take off another boot. See here? That's the high side. This is the low side. Take your knife, do just like that. Roll it out. And she's ready to keep going. You see how it's tender again? Look at how nice that is, y'all. Oh yes. That's about all we need. We even got more left over. Oh yeah. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of water. Now that water, as it starts to stew down, it's actually gonna make like a gravy, and this will become tender, and everybody's gonna be happy. I gotta be honest with you. You know, this is really cool to do this. I'm thinking about all the people that I know growing up. You know, my grandpa and Miss Wall, Miss Iris Wall, she's still doing well out in Indiantown, and all the crackers that really made up Florida. And for anyone watching, I can guarantee you the word cracker has nothing in the world to do with race. It has everything to do with the cracking of a whip, cow whip. Whenever the boys beat the cow hunters, the cow pokes, when they was pushing that cows, the women would hear that and they'd go in and they'd start making food because they knew the crackers were getting close. And that's what they'd be eating, stuff like that. All I need now is some cornbread, maybe some grits. Oh my goodness. This is ready. We're going in this house. Now, you know, back in the day, they wouldn't have a cabin to go into. They would just eat it right here. But hey, I want to show you what it looks like inside the house. Oh, look at that. Now, I'm so excited to see what this looks like. That's all that gravy in there. All that meat. See how that meat's now tender? Holy smokes.
That was awesome.
And then see that? That's a big old fat chunk of love. That is the swamp cabbage.
That's really good.
Here's the old hog slayer right here. There's the man. Okay, boys. Have y'all ever had swamp cabbage?
Haven't had swamp cabbage yet. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah?
That's
How you like going out, killing a hog, next thing you know, it's in a bowl and you're eating
Can I
it.
put some of the hog in here?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what all that meat is.
Oh yeah. Phenomenal.
Pretty work, my boy.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. What you think, Kevo?
It's awesome.
That's what it's all about, folks. We're just out here having a good time, living our best life, and we appreciate you being a part of it. Take care, God bless, and we are what?
We're out.